Around 5 years ago, you may have watched this video from LSuperSonicQ about some lost McDonald's Happy Meal toy that was just found.
Though for the longest time, no one had ever seen one of these silver games, leading many of us to believe they didn't actually exist. This was until a couple days after my first video talking about the subject went live, when I received an email from Roomba Boy. Upon reading through it, Roomba Boy states that he was talking about the promotion with one of his friends recently and recalled having one, though was unaware of its rarity until finding my video. Then, attached to the email was an image of a silver LCD game, an exact match to the promotional image that had been circulating the internet for years.
Yep, that's me. You may be wondering how I ended up in this situation. It's December 2004. At that point in time, it was a pretty normal day for 8-year-old me. My parents had decided that tonight was a fast food night, so we all hopped in the family car and headed towards McDonald's. We pulled up to the drive-thru, and my dad started ordering. Being still well within the age range for a Happy Meal and a toy, that's what I requested to my dad. The toys being offered in the Happy Meals this time around were these Sonic the Hedgehog themed LCD games. I remember that the year prior, McDonald's had done the same thing, and I ended up getting the Shadow Rail Grinding and Knuckles soccer games, which were pretty cool for Happy Meal toys, but not as cool as the 2001 Bionicle toys. This time was different, however, as the toy bags were opaque and prominently showed the words, "If a silver toy is in this bag, you win." A passing thought entered my head, thinking how cool it would be if it was a silver toy. I put the thought aside and opened the bag, as we were just about to leave the drive-thru. What was once meant to be a passing thought that would quickly be forgotten by the fast-paced thought process of an 8-year-old kid became a core memory from my childhood to be remembered many times in the years since, and apparently be retold by 29-year-old me in a YouTube video. For what was in the bag was indeed the silver toy. Kid me was more invested in the prospect and reality of owning this rare toy rather than whatever prize I could win from it. Regardless, when we got home, my dad had reached out to McDonald's to inquire about the prize redemption process. I remember overhearing that the prize for the toy was a copy of Sonic Mega Collection Plus, a game which I had either owned at the time or would have received for Christmas later that year. Since the prize wasn't worth the hassle of the complicated redemption process, that was where the story had ended at the time, and this remained a fun memory to look back upon in the years to come. Alright everyone, here it is. This is the same toy that I got 21 years ago. I'm gonna go ahead and shut up and let you see all the angles of this different thing. So here you go. You can see where the paint chipped off here in those spots where it looks kind of brown. I guess that's what it looks like underneath all the silver paint. And over here is where you can see where I try to use cleaning wipes. That's a bad idea. The info on the back is pretty much the same as all the other toys in the line. Nothing new here. But the real question is, does it still work? Well, let's see. Yeah, that's pitiful. Alright, turn it off. I mean, it's still pretty cool that that's the same battery from 21 years ago, but I got some new ones here. Let's replace it. Got the tools all ready. Let's take this thing apart. There's a new battery. That's going in there soon. And we're going to start with the screws here. We're going to speed this up too. Pulling out the wedge. Let's get this thing pried out. And here we go. Shiny paint untouched by filthy child hands. Look at this thing. It's immaculate. Kept the buttons from falling, but forgot about the little plastic shield that goes over the screen. Whatever. But just take a look at the difference between the front and the back here. Night and day. The other half looks just as nice. And then you can see the switch here on the left side that goes right into the battery, and that battery is getting out of here. Let's replace it. Takes just a little bit of force to snap the board off of the back plate, but it's not too much. And here's what it looks like on the back without the board. Let me go ahead and put the switch back in place here. Oh, but listen to this. Nice. This thing's so shiny you can see the ring light and the phone that I'm recording this on here. Insane. Let's take a closer look at that board here. We got the two buttons for movement, and then the button to take a shot. And then this bit here that connects to the switch has that little metal bit that connects to the battery to turn the thing on. On the back, you can see this little plastic notch on the left that connects to the back of the case. And here are the screws that we'll need to take out. Those two, and then the two on the left to be able to have access to the battery. Take that out, and let's put the serious screw bit in. Alright, ready to go. Let's start taking this thing apart. And I'm being careful here to remove this, since those two springs that you see on the back will fly off. But take a look at that. So that's the back of the screen right there, and there's the battery. I'm going to hold the screen in place, that way it doesn't all fall apart. I'm going to try and get the battery out of there somehow. It's almost out of there. Get tweezers, and carefully remove the battery. And honestly, it looks pretty good for being 21 years old. No acid anywhere. It looks just like the day it was made. That right there is an L736H battery. Well, it was. We'll put that to the side. And here's the new battery that I'm going to replace it with. It says AG3, but it is compatible. It's pretty much the same thing, just call it something different. And we're just gonna put the battery in very carefully. And there we go. Let's put that board back on. And screw it back in. Here's one thing to consider when you're putting this thing back in. Let me put this down really quick. Alright, so you see that little notch on the switch there? We're going to have to put the little metal bit sticking out right into that notch, and also make sure that this little plastic notch on the right fits into the case. That one right there. And yeah, that is secured in place. Let's test it before I put this thing back together. Yeah, it turns on, and it looks a lot sharper than before. Let's go ahead and turn it back off and put this thing back together. But before that, this little plastic screen, a little too dirty. Let's go ahead and clean that up. We're gonna hit it with the foo-foo. And another. Looking good. Just a few more steps here. Let's go ahead and put this case back on. Let's snap it in. Okay. And pretty much all we got left to do is put the screws back in. Let's get my screwdriver out. Take out the bit. Let's put in the even more serious bit. And that's that. Let's see it in all its glory. Here it is. It's just like the day it was made. Just don't mind all the scratches on the thing and all. Yeah, it works perfectly fine. It's the same game as the regular one, it's just Shadow Hockey. So, I mean, if you've had that as a kid, it's literally the same thing. Eventually the game gets harder. It adds more these goalies here. And I lost. Kind of bad at this game, but whatever. It works. I'd say that's a job well done. Alright, obviously, when I was a kid, I didn't pay attention to the specifics and the fine print of the rules for the promo. I just saw the shiny silver toy and I was satisfied with that. But for a video titled Everything About the 2004 McDonald's Search for the Silver Game promo, I figured that I should actually talk about the promo itself instead of just the toy. The Search for the Silver Game promo happened in December of 2004, starting on the 3rd and ending on the 31st. In the case that you were a lucky kid at this time, you would find a silver toy and a game ticket with a verification number on it to send McDonald's to verify. And then you'd receive a prize, which was advertised as a $2,500 grand prize. More detailed rules for the game could be found on McDonald's.com. Thankfully, these rules have been archived on the Wayback Machine. I've put the link to this archive page in the description of this video. In here, we got a bunch of legalese and specific wording that tells us exactly how the promo is meant to work. Here's a few of the more interesting parts. Official silver toys are randomly seeded throughout the eight different types of toys that are available. This would seemingly imply that there were silver variants of the other 7 toys. Whether or not this is true is difficult to determine, since there's no evidence of these variants existing. Plus, the only confirmed silver variant is the one for Shadow Hockey, which is likely the only one since it was the one featured for the promo. Shortly after that section, we see that if the toy you receive is an official silver toy, an official promotional game ticket will be included in the blue plastic poly bag along with the toy. If a participant receives an official silver toy along with an official game ticket with a scratch-off area indicating that he or she is a winner, that participant is the potential winner of the prize indicated, subject to verification of the silver toy and the corresponding game ticket. I personally don't remember this ticket being included, though I can see how I would have forgotten about this over time since I was more excited about the silver toy than anything else. The wording of this section implies that the ticket was only included if you got the silver toy in the bag. And even though this part isn't important, I think it's hilarious that they had to clarify that. The silver toys are silver in color. They are not made out of real silver. Please note, buttons and covers may not be silver. You're telling me that not even McDonald's knew if the buttons or covers are silver? I guess that makes sense, given that even the promo image of the toy differs from the real toy, seeing as the Sega logo isn't even present on the real deal. Going a little further, we see that there are 2 types of prizes, the ultimate grand prize and the first prize. Interestingly, for the grand prize, you would need to mail in your silver toy along with a game ticket, but for the first prizes, you would only need to send in the game ticket for verification. Skipping ahead to the prize details/odds section, there were only 25 grand prizes, where the winners would receive $2,500, and 2,475 first prizes, where the winners got to choose between receiving a copy of Sonic Heroes or a copy of Sonic Mega Collection Plus. Now going back a bit in the rules, we have this interesting line in regards to how one would win the prize. The verification number on the game ticket should match the number found on the silver toy. Now you might not remember seeing a verification number on my toy that I showed off earlier. That's because there isn't one. And trust me, I've searched everywhere for it. So going off what we know from the rules, only the grand prize winners would need to mail in the toy along with the ticket for verification. Also, from what I remember, the prize that I could have gotten would have been Sonic Mega Collection Plus. Given all of this, I'm pretty sure that I was one of the 2,475 first prize winners instead of one of the 25 grand prize winners. But that brings up something interesting that I haven't seen anyone online talk about before regarding the silver toy. The grand prize version of the silver toy should have been different compared to the version of the toy that I own, as they should have a verification number somewhere on the toy. No photos of these rare verification number printed silver toy variants have ever surfaced online, meaning that these are likely lost to time. Just look at the section detailing the odds of the grand prize versus the odds of the first prize. My silver toy was a 1 in 22,030, but the grand prize silver toy was even less likely at 1 in 2,180,964. I don't think the grand prize winners will ever show up online to post pictures of their toy to ever prove or disprove the existence of a rare variant, but I'd like to be proven wrong. If you were one of the grand prize winners, or know someone that was, I'd love to see a picture of the toy, and even the story about receiving it. Hell, even if you were a first prize winner, I'd love to see the toy and your story. So far, I'm the only guy to come forward with having one of these toys, so please, join the Silver Toy Havers Club. We got plenty of space. Back in 2020, when LSuperSonicQ released this video about this lost Sonic the Hedgehog themed McDonald's toy, and it was the toy that I had sitting in my closet, I was confused at first, since I had no idea it was lost. After watching that video, I immediately went to my closet, pulled it out of there, and attempted to clean it up as best as I could so I could take pictures and send it to the guy. And just a few days later, a new video went up saying that the toy was now found, which was probably the fastest I had seen something lost featured on his channel become found. And fast forwarding a few years, in early December of last year, 2024, coincidentally marking the 20th anniversary of the Search for the Silver game promotion, LSuperSonicQ had reached out to me yet again, notifying me about a commenter on their video that had reached out to them regarding a restoration project for these LCD Happy Meal toys. And this was Discord user George Dude, who wasn't the creator of this restoration project, but was someone who was a fan of the project that wanted to see the mythical silver toy as part of that project. This restoration project goes by two names, Sonic McOrigins and MCDONALDS. I had actually been aware of this project, and had downloaded back when I made the teaser for this video, and I used the sounds from that program in my video. For a while, I'd just been sitting around thinking that I'd get around to reaching out to the person behind the project, offering pictures of the silver toy to have a more complete collection of the toys, but ultimately I just kept on putting it off. George Dude gave me the push that I needed to get off my ass and take some pictures for use on the project. So I took the pictures and posted them on the GitHub page for the project. It was funny seeing the developer of the project say a year beforehand the silver variants were for a bunch of games in the 2004 series in the US, I believe. Probably impossible to find those now since people would trade them in for prizes. It's just a cheap image swap anyways, so I don't feel like it's that much of a loss. Hey there, I'm the owner of the only known silver... And yeah, you know the rest. As of the writing of the script, there hasn't been an update to the GitHub releases for the project yet, but I am looking forward to seeing the pictures used there, as well as knowing that others will be able to experience the silver toy as well, in a roundabout way. And that's pretty much everything that I got regarding the McD's 2004 silver toy. Hope you all enjoyed the close-up look at the toy and its internals, the look at the rules for the promotion that have been archived all this time, and the stories that I have surrounding this toy. But before I go, I have one more thing left to show you. Please, take a look. Having one silver toy is pretty cool. But what if I had two? Turns out you can still buy the unopened blind bags on eBay, so I went ahead and bought the Shadow Hockey one. Let's go ahead and open it up and see if I'm another winner here. This right here is what you would get in a Happy Meal in December 2004. One of these blind bags, can't see inside it. I'm going to go ahead and try and focus on all the text on the screen so you can read it. Go ahead and pause if you like. Okay, let's go ahead and open it up. Got my scissors, and let's go ahead and cut up at the top. I do want to preserve this bag here. It is pretty cool. Never kept my old one. And why would I? It was trash at the time. Oh boy, am I gonna be a winner? Let's see it. Let's pull it out and... instructions. Okay, cool. But we got a regular ass shadow hockey. Okay, cool. That's cool. Nothing else inside. Yeah, there's nothing in there. Alright, well, that's that. Regardless, though, it is pretty interesting to hold this. I never had the original version when I was a kid. And yeah, it has the same creases as the silver one here. Now let's see if we can turn this thing on. Alright, doesn't work. Can we replace the battery? Let's see. Nope, look at that corrosion. And even better, look at that battery. It's ruined.